Hi, my name is Henry. Thank you for joining me today in this video. Today I'd like to show you how to install WordPress on your Windows machine for local WordPress development and testing. If you're just starting out with WordPress, then working locally is a great way to learn it. And it is a hugely popular content management system. It is, I think, the most popular CMS out there right now, and I believe it is powering over 70 million websites worldwide. That's what I read from the latest statistics here. You can learn more about it from their website at wordpress.org, and we're also going to download it from here. If you have been working with WordPress and you're not developing locally, then I would highly recommend it as part of your workflow. There are many reasons to have a local copy of your website. One of them is to test plugins, of course, to test functionality before implementing those changes to a live site. If you make modifications on the site, like code changes, you definitely want to test that out before implementing it on your live site. There's a great article that I'm going to link to that tells you, that goes into detail and gives you more reasons why you should have a local copy or work locally in order to test your site, or just to even just start it from scratch before doing that, before moving it live. I just mentioned this because there's a lot of people that I know, that I read about, that develop live pretty much. They just start out and they start their WordPress installation on their, get a domain, and then just install WordPress and they just start making changes and things like that, and they never think about making a local copy. So I hope this gets you makes you aware of all the benefits that you can get just by working locally first, and before you actually move the website to the live server. And here's the link to where it shows you the importance of having a staging site for your e-commerce business. And it's a good article, and I highly recommend you take a look at it. But it basically just tells you that it is crucial to have a staging site, and a staging site is basically just a copy of your live site on your local server, on your local machine, or in your test environment, anywhere you decide to put it. But this would allow you to make changes and to test functionality before you implement those on your live site. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to install WordPress locally. So hopefully this will get you started on your local development initiative. Alright, so enough about that, and let's get started. So the first thing you want to have is Wamp. You want to have Wamp installed and ready. And by the ready, I mean with a status light of green. If you do not have Wamp installed, then I'll recommend heading over to my blog at hsnyc.co/blog. And I have a couple of tutorials, a couple of posts that will show you how to install and configure Wamp. By following these posts, you should get up to the point where everything's good to go on your local machine for the WordPress installation. We then need to download WordPress, and for that we'll head over to wordpress.org and hit on the download WordPress button here. That will take you to this page here where they will tell you what kind of file it's going to download. Just go ahead and click on that. Okay, once it downloads, go ahead and open it up. Usually it's going to download in your downloads folder if you're using Windows. And go ahead and extract it. After you extract the folder, you'll see the WordPress folder here, and that's where you'll have your core files. Now what you want to do, you want to place these files in the root directory of your Wamp server. And for me, that is located in the C drive, the Wamp directory, and the www directory. And this is the root directory you specify during the Wamp installation. There will be some files here which will be for the Wamp homepage and the icon and the test MySQL script to test your connection to the MySQL database. You can delete these files, and you can go ahead and copy your WordPress core files over, and then you can access your website via localhost. Now, what I would recommend is, and this is what I do, is I like to create folders in here or directories to place my site. So in my case, what I'll do is I'll create a folder here and name it stage, and I will copy my core files here to this directory. And what this allows me to do is, if I decide to develop more sites, I can just go ahead and create subfolders here to work on different projects. So now what you want to do is you want to create your database, and for that you head over to phpMyAdmin. To access this page here, all you have to do is just enter localhost in your browser and you should get here. Alright, so to get to my phpMyAdmin, you would just type in /phpMyAdmin, and that would take you to this page here. Okay, so what you want to do is we want to create a database. So go ahead and click new, and we're going to give it a name. In this case, I'm going to take the same name just for simplicity here, but you can name this anything you like. And go ahead and click create. That's going to create the database, as you can see. And what we want to do is we want to go to users, and we like to create a new user. So we want to go ahead and enter a username. I'm going to name my user stage user, and we're going to select the host, and we want to pick localhost since our user will be connecting on a database that's on the local machine. And go ahead and enter a password. Make sure the password match, and you have the options here to create a database with the same name and grant all privileges. This is actually a good option here. You can just start by creating a user, name it the same as what you like to have your database named, and this will create a database after you create the user. I am selecting to name the database user differently here, but you can definitely choose to select stage or the name of the user and create a database with the same name. But once you enter your information here, go ahead and click go. We don't want to grant any permission to this user yet. That will create the user, and it will take you back to this page here. Then once we're here, we're going to edit privileges. Once we're here, we're going to grant this user rights to the database. And what we want to do is we want to take the stage database, and it's going to tell you here that we're editing privileges for the stage user at localhost for the database stage. So you want to go ahead and check all and hit go. And this message confirms that you have granted the stage user rights to the stage database. And then we can go back here. We'll go ahead and open another tab, and we're going to go to our localhost, and we're going to type in our website, which is stage, and that's going to take us to our WordPress configuration page. Okay, so in here you want to select a language. In my case, we're going to leave it in English. Hit continue, and then we're going to see this message here that's going to tell you that you're going to need your database name, your user password, your host, and the table prefix. And this is in case you want to run more than one installation with a single database. And this is not, in my experience, something that commonly used, except in multi-sites. But this is a single install, so we don't need to worry about the prefix right now, but I'll explain to you how to set this up. Alright, so we're going to hit let's go, and that's going to take us to this screen here where you're going to enter your information, and your database name is stage, username is stage user, password, and your host would be localhost, and your prefix by default is WP, and I would recommend changing this to something else, since every WordPress install will have this as its default, and changing your prefix will enhance security generally. So what you want to do is you want to change it to something else. In my case, I'm just going to put ST, just as the first letter of the website, but you can basically put anything else that you like in here, and go ahead and hit submit. Now at this point it's going to tell you that it's ready to go, and we should be ready to go here. So go ahead and hit run install. It's going to take you to the welcome screen where we're going to give the title of the site. In this case, I'm just going to name it stage, and username, just going to give a password here, and go ahead and enter an email. And then you can select your privacy settings here. Since we are working locally, this really doesn't matter, but I normally just uncheck it. Sometimes I'm creating a test site on a subdomain, and I normally uncheck it as just good practice, just because we don't want the search engines to index our test site if it's in a subdomain. In this case, it won't matter much since we're just working locally. Alright, go ahead and hit install WordPress, and that's going to take us to the success page. If everything went well, you should see this message here. If you encountered any issues, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to help. But if everything went well, you should see this, and then you just go ahead and click login, and you can go ahead now and log in to your WordPress installation. And there we have it. You're now logged into your dashboard, and also known as the back end of your website. And that's pretty much it. I hope you found this useful. Hopefully this wasn't too painful. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be happy to help as much as I can. Before we go, let's take a look at the front end here. It should be the 2015 theme. So from here you can start off and just continue on with WordPress and get to know it if you're just starting out. And if you're familiar with it, then hopefully this will get you motivated to start your projects locally. I'll be coming up with more videos on how to transfer sites and how to do more fun stuff with WordPress. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.